I love baseball so much. It's my favorite sport, and I have a feeling that after today, baseball will not love me so much. The Sandlot sucks! It sucks so much! Today we are going to be talking about The Sandlot because it is the start of baseball season, yay! We're going to start with the sportiness of it. Sportiness, pretty low. They play one game the entire movie, and I don't even remember if they won or lost, and it was literally my job to be paying attention. The game had no bearing on the entire rest of the movie. This is just a movie of people taking batting practice and hitting fungos. The baseball advice when it does come seems pretty suspect. Benny makes Smalls into a significantly better outfielder by advising him to just like close your eyes and lean into it or whatever. And that's it. That's like the transformative moment from which he goes from being like an inept baseball player to someone who can like practice with this team. There's no like training montage. They don't even tell you to keep your eye on the ball or whatever. He's just like, ah, and then he gets it. Also, the Babe Ruth character looks like Robert De Niro in a fat suit. Moving on to plot. There is no plot. There is no plot. So we all know, if we've seen this movie, that the climax of the movie is they gotta get the ball back from the dog. The ball goes over the fence at exactly 1 hour into the movie. And the movie's an hour and 40 minutes long. The first hour of the movie is just a series of starts and stops of plots that don't really go anywhere. The almost redeeming scene is when we meet James Earl Jones, who's a blind Negro League player who like was friends with Babe Ruth. This is like almost interesting and accurate, like getting at the idea of how like even before Jackie Robinson would have broken down the color barrier, there were these fantastic Negro League players who played competitive baseball against like Babe Ruth. This is interesting! Go with it! Why is he in the movie for like 2 minutes? If this were a real story about like some kids who played on a sandlot, and then at the end of one of these seasons, they found out that there was like a guy in their midst who had played with Babe Ruth in the 1927 Yankees, that would be where the movie fucking started. You'd be like, cool, next season we're gonna pick up this film again, and we're gonna see like, he's gonna teach us to be a good baseball player. I don't know, maybe that's how like, Benny gets good or something. That would be a great movie. Is that what The Sandlot 2 is?
Moron! Scab eater! Butt sniffer! Pus licker! Fart smeller!
Emotional resonance of this movie. This movie is so fucking sexist. So sexist. Like, way too sexist to enjoy. Literally, the primary insult of the movie. There's a scene, they're trading insults with this other group of kids who they're about to go play baseball against for the only game of the movie. I understand that the whole, like, you throw like a girl was the thing in the 90s, but I at least thought that, like, if the person said that, that was like a signal that this was like not a great person. But what if our kid says it? What if our kid says it as a way to like cap off a series of escalating insults, and it's so bad, so beyond the pale, so egregious that the fucking soundtrack stops?
You play ball like a girl!
They're like, and then that's what sets off like a rivalry. And that's like not even getting into the fact that some little kid tricks the lifeguard into making out with him, and then they all like applaud him.
Little pervert!
Okay, so my actual theory of this movie is like that summer that I fell in love with baseball. Smalls, poor kid, he's like a little runt, he doesn't know anything, he doesn't have a dad, he like doesn't have any strong male figures in his life. And then like the cute boy next door says hi to him, and he dedicates the rest of his life to baseball so he can stay in Benny the Jet's orbit. This movie needs like a 2017 update in which Smalls is allowed to like accept his own self, you know?